My Florida girls are all good. Glad that you're here. This is a really cool set. It really is. I don't have the paper, the pattern paper, because it was out of stock. Yes, this is in the mini catalog, and it's on page 48. It's so pretty. And there's a bundle. Actually, the bundle's on 49. It's right here in the green. It comes with this punch. Okay? So what I decided is, Gina, you did? Nice. Good, good. Well, we've certainly had nice weather here. It's been crazy. Those of you watching us on Facebook, Janet just returned from a visit to Massachusetts, and I live in Vermont just over the border, and it has been ridiculously hot. We were in our pool today and kept saying, I don't understand why it's this warm. Today's my son's wedding anniversary 2 years ago, and we had heaters under the tent because it was freezing. So that's what we're normally used to, and it was, I don't even know what the temp was again today, but it was hot. And we're still in the pool. And it's so weird. You're in the pool and the leaves are falling and filling it just as fast as we can get them out. It's really crazy. Okay, so Painted Harvest is this stamp set. It comes as a bundle, and the bundle includes this leaf punch. There's also a cardstock bundle that has 3 colors in it. It has the chocolate espresso, early espresso, sorry, old olive, and crumb cake. It's really great to work with. So what I'm going to do first is I have a sketch for you, and I will upload it along with this recording after the class, but this is the sketch. It starts with the card. Oops, I have 2 here. It starts with the regular A2, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to do a top fold. And then it has a 5 1/4 by 4 of the early espresso. Then it has a 2 1/2 by 3 3/4 of old olive. Then a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 of crumb cake, and then a 3 by 3 of our white. That's the card. Now we're going to make it look pretty. So I'm going to use some crushed curry, and I'm also going to use, because I want a couple of different colors, I'm going to bring in the So Saffron, and I'm going to look at Daffodil Delight. Now you can see that they are a little different in tone. These 2 are the ones I'm going to try, but I might like Daffodil Delight too. And then the other one I'm going to bring in and see what I think is the Cajun Craze. So let's see what we can do with our stamping and see which ones we like. So first of all, we're going to open up our stamp pad. This is a photopolymer, and you can easily layer with it if you want. You've got the sunflowers, and they're a watercolor look, so they're not like a really, oh, Debbie, I missed your question. What was 8 1/2 by 11? Oh, the bundle? Yes, 8 1/2 by 11 on the on this cardstock pack. Yep. Now remember, you can find a lot of the 12 by 12s. You have to go in the color family. They won't be in this bundle, but they'll be in the brights or the classics or the subtles. All of those have the 12 by 12 in those colors, which is, again, these colors would be in there too. All right, so I'm going to start with, I'm going to do this one first. They're not numbered. You can do them in any way that you want, but I'm going to do this one first. It's the smaller of the 2. I'm going to let Belle go for a walk. Okay, Belle, see you later. I told you that before, but you thought you wanted to stay. And then I need to grab another block. Hey, Rosemarie, how are you? Yours is Friday? This is a busy birthday month. Whoops. Okay. So I'm going to start with the crushed curry on top. September babies, yeah. Make sure I've got it good and solid. What's the matter with you? Why are you zooming in and out? And we're going to stamp. Now it's a watercolor version, but this is a newer stamp, and that's why I'm getting that kind of weird color. So I'm going to do this again and kind of go around my stamp pad. I haven't used this one before, and see if I get a more even color. And I'm going to come on this side. Yeah, I guess that's the way it's going to go. I can live with that. And now I'm going to try the stamp off version. So there's one, and going to grab a piece of cardstock and stamp off. And now I have to try and line this up. And if you look, it has marks on here. Honest to goodness, once you peel them off, it's got little, see the little marks? But once you peel it off, it's really hard to figure out where you are. So it's this one. It's going to line up here. You can kind of see that I get like this layered version of my sunflower. Looks kind of cool. Now I need my middle. And I'm going to use the Cajun Craze for the center because I want a bright one. Now I could use a brown if I was trying to be more traditional sunflowery look, but I want to try this one just because. And I'm going to grab this little center. Pretty cool. And you're thinking, oh, I don't know, she didn't get that really perfect. There's that white spot over there, and it just doesn't okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if it's really going to bug you and it's going to make you nuts, you can grab your little blender pen and you can kind of work on this a little and just ooze this in and then ooze this out. Because it's a watercolor blend, so I can get a little bit more and I'm still okay. All right? It does look kind of like a smiley face. And if you don't like that and you want to blend it a little, so don't feel like, oh, gee, I really messed that up. No, you didn't. You can always fix it. And again, if you really don't like it, flip it over and start again. Now, I used ink on my blender. You can't see what I was doing. Oh, right then, I was cleaning my thing. I was cleaning my blender pen. Is that what you meant? You can't see what I was blending? I was just bringing this in. Was my hand in the way? Okay. Sorry. And now, because my blender pen, I put right in the ink, you can see there's still some on there. Now, oh, sorry. I thought I was good. Let me come back with this. Make sure that I'm on the white thing. That white thing protects my, you know, gives me a nice smooth surface, but it also tells me where the camera is. So it does help a little. And then I'm gonna bring in this. This is to clean the blender pen if you got it really dirty, and use the spray, the Stampin' Mist. And clean your blender. And then bring it back here. And you're all good. All right. Okay. All right, so let's put this card together now. We've got that going. Now, what if I want some leaves to go with it? I'm going to get this all over me. I can feel it in my bones. Come on, don't be difficult. This almost felt like a navy blue episode. I'm going to use some of the Old Olive. And we're going to punch these leaves. I'll do a couple. These are really cute leaves. Right? And I'll put these guys in here, tuck this under there. No, that looks too much. You should be able to drag it where you want it, Tina, to move the chat window. You should be able to just take the top and move it. Yeah. Now, what if you think, well, I like that, but I wish the leaves were kind of under the flower instead of on top of it? We could fussy cut this. You will also see that it fits some of your circles. So these, let me just grab some. These are the thinlits. And you'll see like this thinlit could go around it. It's going to look different, but it's going to look kind of cool. So let's try that. I need to make myself a little room here so I can actually do this. Bring you in. And I have the standard platform, and I need my magnetic one, which I don't know where it went, so we'll do it this way. Isn't it pretty? I really like it. It's really different. So let's put you in there. Now, clearly this wasn't made to go with it, but we're going to make it work. And you get kind of a different look. And that's one of the layered circles. So now we have this. Remember, I'll give you this simple sketch after. This goes here, this goes here, and then you come in, and then your leaves can tuck underneath. You could also fussy cut this if you wanted, and get a really cool look. Okay? All right, so that's one. What I decided to do tonight, too, was something a little bit different. I'm going to take the catalog, and we're going to make this card from the catalog. We're going to duplicate it. So we have our Whisper White cardstock made into the card, and then we have our layer that's going to get stamped. This is going to be this whole thing, all right? And then we have this for our sentiment, and I don't have the yellow cord, I have white, or I also have the jute twine, which I kind of like. So we'll get to that in a minute. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 of the flowers. But I don't think I want them all the same. Remember, I have 2 different sizes that I can layer, I can mix and match and do as I want. I also need the leaves that are in this set. Now, this doesn't use the punch, this just uses the leaves. And again, the leaves are double layered as well. So I have 2 of those. I can see the whole thing, Kathy. Is anybody else having her trouble? Because I see what you're seeing on the screen. Yeah, Kathy, I think maybe you're zoomed in. I don't know. I wish I could tell you what's happening. Because I don't. Maybe go out and come back in if it's really weird. Because I can see what, and I can see the catalog and the white thing and, The other thing I want to talk about in this, okay, great. In this stamp set is there's a really cute acorn and an acorn top. There's this stamp that matches this one. And so does this, so I can get the detailed leaves if I want. So I've got those 2 options. And then I have 3 sentiments, and then I've got this, the little dots that can go in the center of the flower. So many great ideas. This says, I'm thankful for you, and gather together and give thanks. And then this one is, your kindness means so much more than you will ever know. My crazy plan last night when I said I was posting the Simple Surprise was this was the set I wanted to use, and then I realized I can't use it because we're using it tonight. So Simple Surprise is still holding on. It may not be Gratitude because this is the stamp set I wanted to use. Or we may use the stamp set and just do different ones, but we'll do something else. There's so many other options. But anywho, so let's see what we're going to do. First, we're going to do 1, 2, 3 of our flowers, and these are all done in, they're not done in the crushed curry, they're done in Daffodil Delight. So Daffodil Delight, 1, 2, 3, in various spaces. So I've got a small one, and again, there's no magic. It's yours. You can do it any way you want. So I'm going to do one up here. And the catalog people are not going to come and say you didn't do it right. They're really not. They don't care. And I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to grab this one for up here. Now for the center, I'm going to do the early espresso because I want it to be the Brown-Eyed Susan. And I need to get my, what did I have? Cajun Craze off of that one. Wish I could tell which way you're supposed to go. I think like this. Oh, I don't like that. It's way too brown, way too black for me. Right, you could do it with any kind of flower stamp. You could. Yep. That's way too black for me and I don't like it. I'm not gonna change it, but I'm not gonna do any more with it. It will lighten up a little bit as it dries. I'm gonna go with crumb cake. And see what I think of that. Yep, I like crumb cake better. Now, I don't necessarily care that they're not all the way out, but I want them to go all the way out. So I'm going to come in and use my blender pen and do it. Again, it doesn't have to. Okay. Happy with my fleurs. And now I need to bring my leaves in. And if you look here, it tells you what the stamp pads are that they use. And they do use the crumb cake. They do say the early espresso. I think that's too dark. But if you look up at this one here, you can see this top one's a little bit darker. So it doesn't really matter. Let's bring our green leaves. Now remember, one is detail and one is more watercolory. So I'm going to mix and match so we can see both of them. And in this one, I'm going to go with Old Olive. Honestly, I could live with Old Olive my whole life. I use it so many times. I don't know why. It's just a good green for me. Now, remember, I could mask this if I didn't want these to be on top, but I don't necessarily have to. Oh, I kind of like that flower too, or that leaf too. All right. And then I'm going to bring in my sentiment. Which is on theirs, they did I'm Thankful for You. So since we're casing this, we'll put that one on too. And that goes on this little piece of crumb cake. There. And now we're going to need this and our handy dandy tape. Oh, they're doing it with a bow. So, all right, let's do that. We're going to start, we're going to put the ink away. Get in there. And we're going to wrap you one. One, two, and we need a little bit more. And we're going to tie a bow here. And then we're going to bring our sentiment and tuck it right here. Notice it kind of covers up where those weird pieces were, where it kind of overlaps. This goes right on top. I'm going to use some dimensionals so it can go on either side of the twine, and it'll hold the twine in place, but it will also put my sentiment on top. One, two. There is some designer series paper that goes with this. It's been out of stock. I think it might be back in. There's that. And then I got to put this on the front of my card. I'm going to pop this up too, because I'm using the thicker twine. If I were using the thinner, I might be able to get away with just putting it flat. Isn't it? And it's one of those ones that when you're flipping through the catalog, you were like, it's not too much. But it really is kind of cute. Notice the green one, this one. They've made a pattern paper by just stamping the green leaves. So pretty. They're using the garden green cardstock and the garden green ink. Isn't that great? So cool. And it's really pretty easy, right? Now, because I'm still not happy and that's making me crazy, it's because I didn't use the early espresso, so I have to commit to that. I'm going to bring that back. And my blender pen, and add a little bit more. And I'm happier now. Okay. I could. Absolutely, Rosemary. That would be good. I could stamp over it. It's a watercolory look, so you could do whatever you wanted. I'm not hating it now, even though it's darker, because the flowers are not all the same in real life. So I'm okay with it being a little bit different. Right? Okay. So there's two. I wanted to show you, again, one of the ones on here. See how they've done these? These are fussy cut, but they look really pretty. Those aren't the stamps. Those are from the pattern paper, and they've cut them out of the pattern paper, right? They've taken them from right here in the designer series paper, and they've cut out, and you can see all the detail. They cut all of that right here. Super easy. Look at these tags. They're just taking the sentiment and putting the tag. Let's see if we can bring it and zoom it in. Right? Super cool. So the whole purpose of tonight was to say, don't forget these. Don't forget to look in here when you're trying to think of what you want to do. We always freak out that we've got we got it, and now what do we do with it? I love the little pumpkins. I have a bunch of these already, so I'm thinking some tags might come into play. And it helps if you kind of can get really close to it. Again, it's the designer series paper, and using your tag punch. Really easy. All right. Well, thanks you guys for coming tonight. Oh, we didn't do this. Hold on. I was going to say goodbye, but I'm not saying goodbye yet. I want to show you how this punch works, because you're thinking, well, maybe I don't really need the punch. Because the leaves are pretty cool, but look how these look. When you punch, or when you stamp these leaves and then punch them. So you've got two. I think you need both. I think you need the punch. I am really loving the punches, even though, yes, I'm going to do Cricut again. I still think the ease of a punch, you can't beat it. So you got to have the tool for the project, and they're all different. So don't ever feel like this is it, I can't use it. So we're going to stamp both of these so that you can see. Here's one. Really cool. And here's two. And this is Old Olive, stamped on Old Olive. Think of the number of places you could use these leaves, right? Not just with this set, you could, again, any of your flowers, it would look great. And you just kind of line her up. Commit, punch. Okay, so now these leaves look like this, as opposed to just, there they are, without being inked. Okay? All right. Well, thanks for joining me, and have some fun. I can't wait to see what you're up to, and we will see you all really soon. Have a great night. Those of you that weren't feeling good, I hope you're feeling better really soon. And remember, tonight we are using Painted Harvest.